Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're still discussing the challenge with Mr. Rotifa, who upheld the law by ensuring that one of his students does not cheat with an Android phone, and he was beaten, but thankfully the police is handling it. Ramatu.
Okay, so like I said, there should be heavy police next time when they are writing exams like that, so that's in case policemen. So
I won't kill our policemen.
So this is it. When I heard the story, the first question that came to my mind is I always ask this question: why do children? Why do they always have a need to cheat? And so so I now realize that a lot of us, we fear that cheating. We fear we feared exams. So how do we make sure that our children don't fear exams and everything? So I now realized, I spoke to my daughter. My daughter just finished writing SSC. She was writing SSC. And I sat her down and I was like, we need to accept that failure is part of life, right? And I told her, okay, this is it. If you write these exams and you fail, this is what's going to happen. It's not the end of the world. This is what this is what's going to happen. First of all, study more. The next time, yes, we'll just study more and we'll get somebody to help you through, and we'll just do one or two things like that. And then secondly, if you pass the exams, that's a good thing. But I made sure that the way I spoke to her is not for her to go into the hall thinking that, okay, it's okay for her to fail, it's okay for her to still pass.
You have to balance that one.
Yes, so I had to make sure that happens. So I think we parents, we need to accept that our children can fail at any point in time, but that's not the end of the world. We can make sure that, we can devise ways and means of how to make them comfortable in failing and also comfortable at the same time in passing, so that they'll be able to maneuver their ways through life and be able to, not look forward to cheating. Because this cheating thing, most children, they always have it because it comes out from fear, fear of failure and all of that. Yeah. And then for the thugs that need all of this is I know that a lot of us, we know that they are thugs. There are some people that know the thugs, they exist. I remember one of the controllers of the community. Yes, I know one of my staff. He said when he was coming to work, they seized his phone, and he said he's going to go and collect the phone. He called me. He said he's going to be absent from work, that he wants to go and get his phone. They know them, so he went to the Oga of the thugs and went and met him and said, they collected my phone at so time. So
I want it back.
And this is the, he described the guy's face.
And they brought back the phone.
They gave him back his phone. So you understand, but he acted as soon as possible. When it happened that morning, by afternoon, he had already gone. He was already looking for all of this. So the thing is, how do we get rid of those kind of people from our society?
So if you ask government those if you ask the security officials, they will tell you. They'll tell you that even in New York,
so they
are thugs. Even in, that's what they'll say. I don't usually like that answer because we mustn't take the approach that there is evil everywhere, so we must live with the evil. We must decide this is what our society is. And this is how I can never forget. When I went to Vietnam, I was talking to someone and I realized that even in the market, even on the streets, everybody can read. I speak into my phone, I show them the phone, they read and answer me. They said that it was in the 90s, the government made it was declared that every single Vietnamese must be able to read and write. Yeah. Are there illiterates in America? Yes. Are there illiterates in London? Yes. But one country, after a terrible war, said that everybody must read and write. So we cannot say that because there are thugs in developed country, we should live with the thugs we have. We can, as a society, decide that they can live with this kind of thing. No, we will not.
Have to make a change. Yeah.
So that is on the side of the statement of that there are always going to be thugs around us. They're always going to be thugs because we permit thugs to be. Regarding the very solid point that Mariam made concerning values, I feel that we don't talk about it enough. Parents, we need to be a value-driven society. Okay. So that when we, even in your illiteracy, you know value. You know that this is what value means. This is, I will not put risk on somebody else's life because my child needs to pass the exam. A lady last year, I know her, her senior sister works with me. She wanted to do, she wrote JAM to be able to study medicine in Unilag, and she got 260 something, 260 or 280. It wasn't up to 300, and he said, Unilag, if you're not over 300, you won't get in that, so she should try UI. So she went to UI, wrote the post-UME, passed the post-UME, back and forth. She didn't get into the university. She wrote WAEC, she wrote the JAM again this year, and she was among those that they had to sit because there were technical issues. She resat the exam and she got 3, she got, I think it was barely shy of 350. But last year was 2 something. And when we had the conversation, I told my son, I said, does she have a phone? He said, yes, I just gave her my former phone. I said, take that phone from her. These are the, she's on TikTok, I said, let her focus that I'm going to do this thing, I'll study. Subject, so she went into those JAM study centers and she passed in a very, very good way. So it is possible for someone, you know, when she was saying, let the child know that you can fail and all of that. I didn't like it at first because that I'm facing them, I'm saying, this is 80 something. I don't want 80 something. I don't want anything less. I don't want to see any C in your results. That's the conversation we're having. But because I felt they can, if I push them, they can achieve more. But if they bring the C, I'm still going to hug them and
you will still hug them.
I'll still hug them and welcome them. So, but I think that balance is very important.
Yeah, let me say something, you know, taking from, I like Miriam's angle on illiteracy and the fact that, you know, we've talked about the values. Not every parent has the sort of values that we assume everybody should just have because you're a parent, right? We know how many people had their children. Some didn't even know they were thrown into it. Some just believe that once I born the child, God will take care of the child. Anyhow, God wants to take care of the child, that's on the child, right? So we have a lot of parents who are illiterate. We also have parents who have gone to school, but they did not let the school pass through them, right? They are there. Now, we have also lost the value of education, also because of how we have emphasized paper qualification. Once you're a graduate, all is well with the world, right? We no longer pay attention to what education is supposed to symbolize for us, which is your expansion of your horizon, your ability to see a problem and solve the problem. That's what education is supposed to do for us. But we have not placed emphasis on that. We have left it to just that paper qualification. So whether you're seeing the problem, you don't have the capacity to solve the problem, as long as you have the certificate, it's all well and good for us. Now, you also talked about the fact that many people fear exams. Okay, yeah.
Welcome to the show. Good morning, Gani.
Can I make my contribution?
Yes, you can. You are live.
Okay, good. Everything that's been about this WAEC is totally different from everything that has happened last year. I was on social media stuff. I don't really want to mention the platform. That was the day before yesterday. The girl was the examination or making a video. Why not submit when she has not submitted her paper? I think that was English.
So that means she had her phone during the exams.
It doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. For example, now my officials see that video. That whole center is going to be, the result from all that center is going to be seized totally.
And it will affect
so that you can mobilize the center and make that. This thing is just really annoying to watch. But the most annoying part is that you still have the mind to be tagging people online.
Values. Thank you so much, Ganio. I think we'll talk about it because that's
taking phones into the exam hall.
No, it's like there are many issues going on. So you have phones during you've not submitted your papers. That already is wrong. It means the invigilators did not do their work. The school failed. The adults within that environment failed.
Phones into exam halls.
Another thing is the person did not even know how bad what they've done is. The person posted it and was tagged so that all those bloggers
will pick it and then start making noise.
And the impact on other people, because like you said, when WAEC finds, if WASSCE finds this out, they will flag that entire school. So
and then every other person there will be marked wrong or cancelled. Yeah, but let me wrap up what I was trying to say. So Ramatu talked about the fear of writing exams. I used to have such fears, right? And those fears came from a lack of foundational grounding in the subjects. When I remember in GSS 3 where I failed mathematics, and you know there were talks of, okay, there's a way they can waive it for you. Maths was the only subject that you failed. And my father said, never.
If she fails, she fails.
That maths, you will pass it. So you will have to repeat the class. Not resit the maths, because I had an option to resit the maths. Many of my friends who failed maths recited and moved on. My father said I had to repeat the full class. And I repeated GSS 3. It was the worst.
I can feel it. I can feel it.
I'm still feeling it. It was the worst time of my life. All my juniors, I was not in class with them.
Oh yeah, you're supposed to become senior.
Yes, I was looking forward to being a senior, you know, but he insisted. And after so many years, I was grateful that he did, because he now got me to pay attention to the mathematics, and I got my grounding back. So many times, some of our children this age now will not have these issues of fearing examinations because they are already being grounded in the subjects from time to time. We're following up with them. We're paying attention to them. I have always mentioned it here that I never knew that when you come back from school, you're supposed to do assignments. Yes, in secondary school, the whole of secondary school, till it was time to write exams. I never knew that you are supposed to have your notes. By the end of the term, my school bag is empty. All my notes are lost, you know. So the only way I was passing the examinations was because I was quite auditory and kinesthetic. So there were some courses that I've heard the teacher say it, I will remember. There's some courses subjects that I was naturally interested in and gifted in. It was easy to go through. Yes, I don't get notes to go through it. So I was able to. But when it now came to the practical subjects, and then they catch me, like maths, because I did not sit down to apply it, I will now be caught. So if we can pay attention to stage by stage of every child, they will not have. What is fear of exams? You are not sure you will pass, and you are not thinking, okay, who can help me? What can I get? Can I copy my notes? Can I hide my book?
They go into
can I
their
speak?
exams with
Confidence.
Like,
they don't know.
It.
Yes,
I've studied.
The truth is, they don't have fear of failure because they will remember.
Understand the subject.
They are grounded in it. So the form of education we should have, and we should also pray that schools pay attention to. It's not about just passing the students. They have to be grounded in. I've told you, my children always do year 6. My first daughter did year 6 twice because she got to an age where she aced it and passed. And when I was changing her school, they said she wasn't up to that particular age. So
she did year 6 again.
Should I allow her go? They can allow her go because she passed. And I said no. There's a form of maturity that I want. When my son was moving to the same school, they tested him. His grades were good, but when he came to that school, they tested him, and the teacher called me and said, the examiner called me and said, there are some foundational gaps in certain subjects. We can take him to the next class if he wants, but it will catch up with him. Let him retake this particular class so that he's grounded in. Now, when I see their results, I'm excited because they know. But tomorrow they will not be paper.
It's not audio.
It's not
Let
audio.
me take this call. Chris, welcome to the show. Good morning. I'm so sorry I kept you waiting for long.
So I remember one time there was this we're writing exams, and then I saw the other person that sat close to me was cheating. That one brought the whole textbook. He kept it under his table and was just, and I was just looking at him. I was like, I now saw his writing paper. He wrote here, front, back, everywhere. Like, God, one night, this one has passed that course and everything. Only for after the exams, after some time, they now called him. They called him out and they were like, they know that he cheated.
Oh, he copied it verbatim.
He was copying, and he now copied, as we discussed in the last chapter.
Hey! Oh my God!
As we discussed in the last chapter,
he copied
verbatim. That was how they caught him. This one.
Is that if I was his lawyer, I can defend that.
How will you defend it?
I'm so photographic that I
you remember what happened. Let's take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue this conversation, and I'll be coming to Mariam. We'll dig deep on values and how impactful it is when we have it and when we don't have it. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.